up, y'all? I'm DeMarcus Beasley, and you're listening to The Peel.
Oy, oy.
Yeah. Well, my name's Justin.
Did you get any sleep last night?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I didn't get very much sleep.
Okay.
My phone was going off. I'm Josh, by the way.
Yeah.
Welcome to this edition of The Peel.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy going on right now.
Yeah. Needless to say, I'm extremely pissed off. There's a lot of drama going on right now between FC Dallas and Houston, and it sucks because we were supposed to sit here and talk most of today about the Seattle match and upcoming U.S. matches and stuff like that. And now FC Dallas and MLS want to throw us a big FU to Dynamo supporters.
Yeah. By the way, if you're tuning in right now, not safe for work. Okay, guys. Yeah. All right. So
I probably should have put that in the comment.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw that out there. This episode is not safe for work. We're as fans, we're pretty pissed off. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was at this game personally, and it was a pretty tame game, And let's go ahead and just explain what's going on. Yeah.
Well, first, let's get into two quick housekeeping things that we need to talk about because
Can I open my beer first?
Yeah, you can open your beer.
All right.
But we are we do cover, and Josh is playing the Game of Thrones intro in case you didn't hear because he bought a Game of Thrones beer. But
they released some more.
Yes.
Some more. Okay. Yes.
But we did have two matches this past week. We had Houston taking on RSL at home. My girlfriend actually ended up getting a game-worn Kyle Beckerman jersey. We did the Vault pass, so that was pretty awesome. We destroyed them. Great. Don't break anything in my apartment.
I was not expecting that, but
okay. But they did win 5-1. Is that Megan laughing?
I think I scared your dog too.
That's funny. But we did have a lot of goals. Justin Schmidt opened it up with an own goal from RSL. Alex scored in the 15th minute. Morrow scored a pretty spectacular goal in the 45th.
Yeah, that box movement was amazing.
Kubo.
Passing in the box. Yeah, Kubo's pass to Morrow was incredible.
Kubo scored, and it wasn't a PK.
I gotta tell you, I mean, the box movement, the decision making in the box is incredible. It's uncanny compared to what we're doing on the road.
And we did have Plata scoring in the 63rd minute, and then Leonardo getting, I want to say, what did they say, his second goal of his career? Or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
In the 68th minute. It was not a good match at all.
Beautiful header, but yeah, RSL definitely gave up on that one, unfortunately.
Yes.
So it's sad, and then Dynamo away game.
Yeah, Dynamo did play Sunday night. I did say the Vault again.
Yeah.
It is called the Vault.
Yeah, it was
I don't get it, neighbor. Anyway.
The game on the road, obviously we lost 1-0 this time. Truthfully, thank you. Truthfully, I believe that we should have walked out with a draw or a win. We looked decent besides the attack. The defense was holding their own. If it wasn't for obviously Will Barone getting that
he was going to score.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. They were playing a lot of good crosses into him, and he was bound to find one. And unfortunately, we actually had coverage on him in the box, and Rico kind of gave that one up. So not much we could do about it, except for if at least would have finished the goal or two.
Yeah.
Scored. But this is nothing new, guys.
You had Will Barone scoring in the 69th minute, but I am impressed because we shut down the guys I was worried about playing extremely well. Ladero and Alonso and even Rodan. It was a very good match for our defense to shut those guys down.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they still won possession and everything, but move on. I mean, they're looking like they're trying to work on their road jitters, and it's looking like it's better. So I mean, let's go ahead and dive into the nitty-gritty, man.
Yeah, so in case you didn't know, this letter here has been circulating around to the supporters. FC Dallas and MLS came down and essentially gave TA, EB, and Brickwall a slap on the wrist and a match ban, a
slap on
4-match
you
ban.
call that a slap on the
Okay,
wrist?
I don't mean slap on the wrist in that respects.
Oh no, not by any means. No, this is an overreaction. Let's
It
be
is,
real. Yeah.
you've had Eddie Robinson claiming that it was an overreaction. Corey, everybody.
It is an overreaction.
Speaking of that, in about 5 minutes, we'll have Corey Roepken joining us to talk about this. We'll have Alicia from Dynamo Theory to come on and talk about this. Him and her both spoke to, her name's Gina Miller. She is the VP of Communications
and Marketing with FC
Yes.
Dallas. So, as we posted earlier on our Twitter, she did not write that letter, even though her name was on that.
It was a different Gina.
Okay.
This is Gina.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where we got kind of misconfused there. A different Gina wrote that letter out to the fans, and let's go ahead and read the letter off to them.
Yeah, so to start this whole conversation off, remember, tonight, guys, other than Corey coming on and Alicia, we want your phone calls, we want your comments, we want to know how you guys really feel. Along with that letter, I also have an official statement from TA, which I'll read in its entirety. But this letter in its entirety, which is from MLS and FC Dallas, as well as Toyota Stadium. On June 6, 2017, which was yesterday, a decision has been made by FC Dallas to impose privilege restrictions on the Houston Dynamo supporters groups for the unacceptable behavior that was displayed before and during and after the match on May 28, 2017 during a regular MLS season match between FC Dallas and Houston. As a result, FC Dallas will impose a ban on the Houston supporters group's privileges. Houston Dynamo's SGs will not be allowed to enter the Dynamo Stadium or the Toyota Stadium property with any of the usually permitted supporters groups or to the supporters groups, including and not limited to flags, banners, instruments, or any other implements used to display their support of the team. The ban on privileges will remain in effect for the next 4 matches between FC Dallas and Houston that are played at Toyota Stadium. Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Further, the supporters groups will only be allotted a maximum of 100 tickets into the designated visiting supporters group sections in the stadium during the restriction period. The ban on these privileges will include any regular season other than regular MLS season and playoff matches in Toyota Stadium within the restriction period. The decision was made following discussions with FC Dallas event staff and front office, MLS soccer security agents, and MLS operations, as well as the review of all relevant reports. We look forward to putting these issues behind us to move toward a more cooperative working relationship in the spirit of the game. Sincerely, I'm not going to read the name because I do know some outlets have been blocking that off.
Yeah, so let's not read on that.
Yeah.
We did have Corey, though, calling in on us, so let's go ahead and get him on there.
Yeah, let me click back over to that. Let's see.
Was that him? Yeah, correct?
I think so. Was it? Yes. Yeah. All right.
Hello?
Hey, Corey. Sorry, we were reading the statement from FC Dallas and MLS. So,
Oh, no worries.
go ahead and give us a little bit of what you know.
By the way, guys, for y'all that don't know Corey, this is Corey Roepken,
Yes.
who's a writer with the Houston Chronicle. He mainly covers Houston Dynamo and the Houston Dash, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Go ahead. I'll let you lead this one.
Well, let's hear. Yeah, let's just hear what you had to say about this whole incident here.
Well, at first I was skeptical because of the reaction I saw last night, but then this morning when I talked to a spokeswoman at FC Dallas, she explained to me exactly what rules the Dynamo supporters broke, and it made a little bit more sense. I know that there's some confusion as to whether whether smoke bombs were allowed outside the stadium, and I double-checked with her on that later in the day, and she said that no, it's anywhere on the property, and I think, if you go based on their rules, then yeah, rules were broken, and I also talked to someone with the MLS office, and they said that the 4 games is the minimum punishment that they could have given in this situation. So if you consider all of those things, then everything went by the book. So, I kind of live in a world with facts, and that's kind of what I got to go on.
You reference, quote, the book. Do you think that this is definitely an overreaction? Do you think it's worth it? I mean, yes, they lit off smoke bombs, and you're not supposed to, but they didn't harm anybody, and it was outside of the actual stadium. Granted, now that is technically stadium premises, but do you feel like they definitely overstepped their power?
Well, I mean, by MLS writing in these procedures and these guidelines of what they're going to punish teams and fan bases when certain things happen, then no, they didn't overstep. Because let's say that they start making this a subjective thing, then it might come in to for discussion when it happens somewhere else. Well, it wasn't really close to the stadium. It was just in the parking lot. What if it happens inside the stadium? I mean, or right at the gate, and some of the smoke got into the stadium. I mean, there's so many variables that you can come up with, and be subjective about it. So, I mean, while it might seem to a fan that this ruling or these sanctions are too much, it is what MLS has written in its book, and it is going by the book and its guidelines. So based on that, no, there is no overreaction, but I can't, I'm not a fan, so I can't speak to what they feel like is appropriate.
Oh, absolutely. And, just for me, I was at the game personally, and just for the fans out there, we did tweet earlier that there was a red smoke bomb that was fired off, and apparently that is what she was quoting was a fog bomb, which apparently is not against regulation on the stadium. So just to clarify and all of that there too, we cannot fire off smoke bombs, we can't fire off flares, we can't throw streamers, which is I mean the streamers is a little bit over dramatic on that part, unfortunately. And from what I got out of that, they're allowed to fire off on the fog bombs.
Yeah, that's what I was told too. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just tough luck. I don't know. That's probably not what Dynamo fans want to hear. But
no,
I'm not really in a position, having had history with this rivalry to know what feels right and what feels wrong.
Now, my next question here is because when that letter came out, it was pretty vague on what the unacceptable behavior was. Was there a reason why? Did she give you a reason why it took so long to come out with the exact reasons of why they were banning them?
No, I didn't ask that. But if it had, and when I asked what those unacceptable behaviors were, she told me right away. Now, if they had been if she had been less than forthcoming with that information, then I was prepared to say, you give these sanctions, but you don't tell the people what they did wrong, so how do they know what not to do next time? I was prepared to ask that question, but she told me exactly what the problems were, so I don't know why it wasn't in the letter.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it kind of sounds to us, it's a little bit petty as fans, personally.
Now, kind of outside of just this topic, how do you think this affects the match here in 2 weeks?
I would guess that the fans are going to be a little bit more riled up than they already were. I mean, you got, for 3 years, the Dynamo weren't much, and they lost to Dallas almost every time, and now all of a sudden you have a team that, despite losing last season, they procured El Capitan. They'll get to fire it off before the match, and hey, you got a team that's in the top three of the table, and you get all 3 points against Dallas. Not only do you, have a chance to get higher in the table if they're not already in first place at that time, but, you keep Dallas from moving up, and you create a little separation. So, add this incident, add some fuel to the fire. And I know that, some people are talking about attendance being down so far this season, but if fans are not at that game, what game are they ever going to come to?
And,
So I think that's a good barometer.
I'm not good at math, but I know how to do averages, and the numbers aren't actually bad. I think the last time I checked, we were averaging, I want to say close to 17,000, which is not bad considering about how bad attendance was last year. Do you think we pull in more than 17,000 for this match? I personally think we do.
I forget. What is it? A Wednesday night? Is it a Saturday night? I forget.
The game here
off the top of your head?
The game here is on Friday, June 23rd.
Then I would expect there to be a lot of people. I would expect it to be pushing 20,000.
Absolutely.
I mean, the combination of you're playing your arch rival, and both of you are contending atop the conference table, and you have you already have a great rivalry between Houston and Dallas, regardless of the sport or any activity really, and now you have what seems to be a perceived pushback by Dallas against Dynamo fans. So, I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't come out in full force for that game.
Yeah, anything else?
Absolutely. I've been hearing a lot of fans that are I've been kind of pushing other people at work. I've been telling them, hey, go to a Dynamo game, and they chose the Dallas game. I'm like, after all of this has been released, y'all are in for a treat, because this is probably going to be the best game of the season for us in regular season, hands down.
Yeah.
There can't be a game that's going to top it. I can't say that much, especially with all this happening right now.
Well, Corey, I do appreciate you coming on. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, and we'll go ahead and let you go.
My Twitter handle is Rip Sports. That's RIP Sports, not Rest in Peace Sports. It's kind of like my last name, so Rip Sports. And cron.com /sports/Dynamo for all my stories on the website.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, again, Corey, I appreciate it, and I'll probably catch you over there at the HASP at some point.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right,
Take
thank
care.
you. Yep, you too.
Absolutely, and you can also find an article that Corey posted on his Twitter feed right now. So so follow him at Rip Sports, and you can read everything that he talked about. He spoke to Gina Miller.
Yep.
We had also spoke to Gina Miller
Yeah.
prior to the show as well. We got a little bit of feedback as well. Looks like we're getting a call.
We got another call. Hey, welcome to the Peel. Hello?
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 Hey, thanks for calling the Peel. Who do we have on the line right now?
My name's Chris.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
What's going on?
So before I get started, I am a Texan Army member, but anything I say doesn't necessarily reflect the views of our leadership, or it's not an official Texan Army statement.
We are totally okay with that. Go ahead and speak your mind.
Do what?
I said, go ahead and speak your mind. What do you got for us?
All right. So obviously, I'm a bit biased as a Dynamo supporter, but I do think this is a little ridiculous. The rules that we saw, they're on the FC Dallas website. It doesn't specify, Dallas supporters, Houston supporters. It just says smoke bombs in the parking lot, good. Inside the stadium, no. Yeah. So then streamers, I did see a couple of streamers throwing, so that I will give them. There were a few streamers. I think I saw two. But you take out the smoke bomb, having a 4-game ban for a couple of streamers is a little bit ridiculous.
Yes. Well,
So what we had gotten from it was that there was and like I said, I was at the game there. I didn't see a lot of the prior games. I didn't stay very long for anything after the match, but there was a smoke bomb fired off beforehand. In the parking lot where our supporters were. And that was right before we were about to head into the game. But see, from my understanding, I had looked over as well, and I saw the FC Dallas fans firing off a smoke bomb as well, which, to my knowledge now, was a fog bomb, is what they were calling it.
I don't even know what the difference is.
Exactly.
It puts off colored smoke.
Exactly, yeah. It puts off colored smoke, It apparently they have to have some kind of regulation for the fire department to approve all of these. And as a Dynamo fan, I'm a little pissed, and I think it's a little bit petty. My personal this is just my personal reaction on it. I think they're a little embarrassed that they heard our fans over them on national TV, and it's an embarrassment to their organization with what they have built for their team. So I still feel a little bit that FC Dallas is kind of behind this in a sense. You know, I could be mistaken, but like I said, I'm speaking as a fan right now.
Now, so let me ask you this, Chris. You were there, so was there anything during or after the match outside of the smoke bombs or the streamers where there was fighting or anything like that?
No, they held us back for a while. So the stadium, it was pretty much completely empty by the time we got out of there. We had a clear path back to our bus. There was no real issues after the game. They had to, because they were really dumb. What they did, they sat us at the top. They split us up over 3 sections at the top. Mm-hmm. And so, throughout the game, FC Dallas fans, they actually have to walk through the heart of our section just to get out of the section to go get a hot dog or something like that. After the game, they blocked off the railing, the aisles through our section, so they had to all go around. So post-game, there wasn't really an issue. The only time it ever got really heated, it was maybe like 70th minute or so, something around then. I'm assuming y'all saw the video on Twitter. The guy is turning around, flipping off Dynamo fans, basically saying, "Come fight me."
Yeah.
That was the only time it really got heated. But besides that, that's why I was a little surprised when I saw the letter from the Dallas front office last night, because I did not expect that.
Yeah.
And to Rob, we haven't seen anything from MLS personally yet.
Not officially from
officially,
MLS, but this is essentially coming down from MLS.
It's so essentially what had happened was an third party MLS auditor was the ones that caught the Dynamo supporter group shooting off the flare or shooting off the smoke bomb and lowering the streamer, and that's where they laid the hammer down.
Nah, I know MLS doesn't necessarily like it, but this is the first time they've had a problem. They had a problem with SAG during MLS Cup. I think it was 2011 or something like that. So I know they're not. That was the first I've heard. This is the first I've heard that MLS actually has to do. I actually think it was straight FC Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's frustrating because I've been at games before, and I thought smoke bombs have been banned in all stadiums at one point in time until an LA Galaxy away fan fired one off inside our stadium. I had to walk through it, and hell, man, I didn't care. I walked out. I was perfectly fine. It's part of the sport. We had lost to LA Galaxy last year when they fired it off. It's petty shit, man. It really is. And who cares? It's a smoke bomb.
Yeah.
It's a flare.
That's what really irritates me. It's not like we did it in the middle of the stadium. Like, it was in the parking lot. The section of the parking lot that was reserved for Dynamo fans. The FC Dallas fans cannot even get into. Like, they would have been blocked from getting entry in our area. So it's not like they were in any danger or anything.
Yeah. So this is me saying this, because I've seen a lot of bullshit things in MLS, and one of the things that did piss me off a little bit was way back in 2011, Andre Haenel scored a game-winning goal against Sporting. No, I'm sorry, it was a 2-0 goal against Sporting Kansas City in the playoffs. And
I remember that one. They were mad because they think he should have gotten a red card.
No. Immediately they showed the Sporting Kansas fans on national TV giving him the finger. Right there.
Oh, was that the one? Was that the one at Kansas City?
That was the one at Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, so y'all are wanting to turn this league to PG rating now when stuff like that is shown on national TV, and you're pissed off about a little bit of flares that weren't even shown on national TV? If anything,
that's also
our fans
one of the
added
things about
more to their atmosphere than anything for FS1 to bring them what they should have had, a true rivalry on national TV.
Yeah, so one thing I know a few guys that they're FC Dallas supporters. I go to college with them. And one thing they told me is, I don't think so much that FC Dallas issue is just with us, but I think they have an issue with all supporters in general, because it sounds like they're really pushing that. They really want that PC crowd, family atmosphere in Frisco. But that's not what soccer is about.
So exactly, and sadly enough, the first half I had sat directly in the heart with right next to El Baton. And then the second half, I went and sat with a couple other friends on the other side of us, on the left-hand side of us during that game. And I did notice to the left-hand side there was more of a younger crowd chanting for FCD, and I'm like, what is this? And it was just it really shows that that's what they're pressing for, is a PG rated stadium. I even heard
that place is absolutely dead.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
There's no atmosphere
it's absolutely ridiculous. It's located out in Frisco. They don't have very much fan support, and they should, because they, as much as I hate to say it, they have a really good team. And they deserve a lot more respect than that. And honestly, their security measures and whatever issues they have, they need to get over it. Because I did hear another security guard say to a lady, as she was walking down, she was saying, if this group is too rowdy for you, we can always, we can always move your seat to another area of the stadium. So it really says much for them. So, but hey, Chris, we do have to let you go. We do have Alicia with Dynamo Theory about to call in here. So we appreciate you calling, bro.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. So yeah, we're just waiting for it's a high school football stadium, and they're trying to push that atmosphere for an MLS match as well.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean it is very frustrating, and like I said, it was a tame game, man. There was no issues, and honestly, I didn't even see the guy get kicked out until I saw some videos for the FC Dallas fan getting kicked out, and then I saw more videos of them flipping us off and stuff. So.
Hey, this is the Peel.
Hey,
it's
Alicia. We appreciate you calling in. It's nice to finally hear your voice. We actually haven't. Well, I haven't personally heard it yet. So.
Our kind of boss, but kind of not, but kind of.
I know. I haven't gotten to talk to you guys yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So thank you for coming on this kind of emergency episode for the POE tonight.
No worries. This has pretty much taken up most of my day anyways, so, it's been major drama.
So what did you get from Gina and from FC Dallas? Because, we pretty much got the same interview, and it seems that they are also kind of holding back what really happened to kind of put FC Dallas in a better light.
It was really interesting talking to her, because in some ways she seemed really forthcoming about stuff, yet at the same time I walked away kind of feeling like they really put, at least when I talked to her, all of it on MLS. Like, she pretty much told me MLS handed down these sanctions to us to give to the Dynamo.
Yes. And that's
pretty much what she told me. And I was not really expecting that answer.
I was about to ask you, do you actually believe that? Because personally, when we spoke to her, I didn't believe a damn thing on that.
Yeah, and I've talked to some other people since then who kind of, everyone's like, I don't think I really believe that that's completely the case. I have a few calls out around with MLS people that I'd like to try and get more clarity on it, just because the sanctions seem really harsh and really extreme, no worse than what the infractions actually were.
And
so I'm kind of more curious as to, okay, is there actually set rules, like if you set off a smoke bomb, this happens to you?
Yeah.
If you throw streamers, this happens. Like, how do you come up with 4 games that this is imposed for?
And you bring up
that's kind of what I'm curious about, is to how you come up with it, or you just throw darts at a board and wherever your dart lands, that's what happens to you.
Well, what really got me is almost the double standard feel I got when I was asking her about like Dallas Beer Guardians and their supporters groups, because I asked her, I said, well, have you seen the video about their fans burning dynamo scarves and lighting off smoke bombs? And then she claimed that they were fog bombs and that she hadn't seen the video of the scarves. So I totally feel like there's a double standard, which is totally BS. I mean, soccer is a rowdy atmosphere, and if you're not going to allow that, then don't have a team or supporter
And
section.
also, I want to throw in one more statement here. When they say 4 games, if these teams meet in playoffs, that game in Dallas is included in this ban.
Yep.
Okay, just to let the fans know, that is included. We did get that confirmation from her.
Yep, it's any MLS game, is my understanding.
Yeah.
So
the letter
playoff,
didn't make a
whatever,
lot of sense.
any MLS game. it was interesting. What she told me basically was that in any stadium in MLS, away fans are not allowed to have smoke bombs, regardless of if you're in Seattle or in Chicago or Orlando or wherever you are. No traveling supporters are supposed to light off smoke bombs.
Mm.
I don't know how true that statement is. I haven't really had time to look into it, nor do I have
I wish
the
I was
interest
on
in looking it up.
I wish I was on
Researching it.
the phone call with the supporters group and their leadership, you know, and listening to what was allowed and what was not, because, you know, obviously there's some stuff that was not clarified.
There wasn't. Even in the initial letter, it is very vague on anything. You know, it didn't say why. And you would think that they would put this in there so they can use it as an example. Hey, don't do this next time. Instead of just putting out an extremely vague letter, you know, not stating anything. And I think that's where...
Well, and that's kind of what I told her when I talked to her. I was like, look, I just want to know why. You know, what did they do?
That is
you know,
the
usually,
first question
and I told her
we
this,
asked.
I was like, usually when a fan behaves badly, video of that ends up on Twitter within 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing from this game.
No.
There was no one really being called out. I mean, there were a few things about Dallas fans being arrested, but even that was pretty minimal. Like, there really wasn't anything.
Well,
and usually, you don't necessarily need to talk to the team because you've already seen on Twitter what happened, so you know it's coming. So I think that's part of why this felt still out of left field.
With that being said, you know, FC Dallas has not been treating their fans with any respect this year. They've been throwing out fans left and right.
So they're throwing out fans left and right. They're ranked 20th in league attendance. They're increasing season ticket prices by about 50% next year for some of the fans.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like, what the hell, man? What are you doing? Why? This is a soccer atmosphere that we're trying to create here in America, and all you're doing right now is just damaging it.
Yep.
And it's frustrating because there's a few conspiracy theories that I have at the moment, just because I'm a diehard Houston Dynamo fan, and one is because they are so pissed off that we were louder than they were on national TV, and this is a team that's a championship caliber team, and they can't have that, you know, and then also it's going to put a damper on if these teams they essentially will have a good chance, depending on how the rest of the season goes, obviously, but they have a good chance to meet in the playoffs, and that's going to kind of just they see how we're playing on the road. They saw that we got our first point against them because I feel that we have more support for them going there because it's just right up 45, and they want to take that away from us.
Yeah,
they want to take it away from us. And
I'm definitely interested to see how the sanctions affect traveling Dynamo support, because that's one where it goes one of two ways. Either fans get pissed and they're like, screw you, I'm not going up there, and we'll protest, and none of us are going. Or fans get together and say, screw you, we're all buying individual tickets, and more people go up than ever.
That's what Justin and I are going to do.
So I have I guess you could say, source. I'm not going to throw names out there only because of the role that they hold. I have heard that they are rumored to be buying a group amount of tickets to go up there and still show their support. And my issue is there was 300 Dynamo fans that went up there roughly, okay? That was part of the only reason that stadium looked a quarter full than what it would have been. I mean, the attendance there is just bad in general, and you want to take that away from you? To me, that's just stupid, especially when they're hurting for seats anyway.
It's absolutely frustrating, you know, and this is going to be the stadium that's going to hold our Hall of Fame in U.S. soccer. And this is the stadium that's going to do it.
It was also interesting when I talked with her that she brought up the fact that, you know, Houston fans had started a "Fuck Dallas" chant.
And
at this point, with the way most games go around the league, I don't see how you can even if you do want to clean up supporter chants, whatever, are you going to sanction every team's supporter group that have chants like that?
So,
what about the "You Suck Asshole" chant?
Here's
that
my
was
thing.
going around at Seattle last weekend. Are they going to get sanctioned?
Have these, quote, third-party auditors, have they ever been to an away Sons of Ben section? Because I'm pretty sure this is nowhere near as close to what they do. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, because you don't see this.
Well, and
you don't
honestly,
see this.
when she said it, I actually giggled. I couldn't help myself. I was like, well, and there was also, an F Dallas chant that started, and I started giggling, and I was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. She's like, no, I get it. It's okay. Because I couldn't help it. Like, it just seems asinine. I understand, the family nature of, not wanting your kid around that or whatever, but tough shit. It's a soccer match. Suck it up.
This is true. It was a soccer match, and like I said, when I was there, it was a very tame soccer match for the most part. I was expecting a lot more on away.
I'm going to comment to Jay real quick with the Sons of Ben going to FCD. Look, anybody from Philly typically hates people from Dallas, but they don't play them regularly. I'm talking when they go to Harrison for a Red Bulls match, or NYCFC, or DC United. They can't stand those three teams.
This is not a FC Dallas and Philadelphia Union are not a hardcore rivalry. Let's get over that.
I mean,
okay.
Everybody knows.
Now go to a Philadelphia Eagles game versus the Cowboys game, and then come back and tell us what you think about that.
But Josh likes to make fun of it, and yes, I'm part of Sons of Ben, but I just hate Dallas, part of the Eagles rivalry. I just hate anything Dallas. So
well, absolutely. I mean, you're from Philadelphia. I'm from Houston. So we're born to pretty much hate Dallas.
Exactly.
It's just natural. And dang, now I lost my train of thought. Thank you very much.
Oh, look, I did it to you.
Yeah, you did it to me now. Thank you very much.
But.
So I mean, no, like I said, it was a very tame atmosphere for the most part, and it's frustrating. And now I remember what I was going to say. So if MLS did have anything to say about this, or if they had part on it, or if they were the main culprits of it, look at EPL, look at Bundesliga.
Mm.
You want this league to grow?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have an atmosphere like that.
You're going to take away a small atmosphere from a frickin' smoke bomb? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But, Alicia, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, where you write at. Obviously, it's Dynamo Theory, but let our people know.
Yeah, Dynamo Theory. I'm usually the person on the Dynamo Theory Twitter account and on Facebook. Occasionally, Derek stages hostile takeovers when I'm out of town or busy, but for the most part, you're usually stuck talking to me. Usually creeping around those places.
I have to imagine the reason why she typically runs the Twitter is there can't be much to do in Montana. There can't be.
This time of year, there's more to do, but I actually just broke my leg, so I don't have much to do right now. So I have more free time.
I was reading your tweets.
Be on the Twitter.
I was reading your tweets, and I hope you heal up a little bit better. And damn that dog.
Thanks. I know. Only I would end up having my dog run into me and have him fracture my leg.
That is awful.
Really special like that. That's been one of the big jokes with Dynamo fans is because there's been multiple times that I've planned trips to come down for games and I've been injured and haven't been able to come. Or I've been on crutches at games and things like that. So it's always an interesting health story with me usually. So, but hopefully I will be down this year.
Good. Well, I'm hoping that maybe you should come down for this FC Dallas match now because I'm pretty sure.
I was thinking about that. I was like, well, if they're going to restrict supporters, maybe this is the game to come down for.
Yeah. Please, and Dynamo fans, please look at the screen because I have one of the cameramen said that he'll film what I'll do on the screen. So and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if he actually follows through with it, it'll be pretty cool.
All right.
Nice.
Well,
awesome.
Well, thank you again, Alicia,
thank you guys.
And we look forward to hearing from you again.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right,
Thanks,
you too.
Alicia, you
thank
too.
you.
Bye.
All right, so we'll go ahead and open the phone lines back up for
Yes.
all the fans now. So we did get our work out of the way with everybody. A lot to say, and a lot of bullshit, man. I mean, you call in, guys. 281-849-7335. We do want to hear from you. We want to hear y'all's thoughts on it as a fans. We're fans.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm so mad.
I still think it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
it is very ridiculous. It is very ridiculous.
Like,
for a
part of me was trying to,
and a streamer.
At least we weren't burning scarves.
Burning scarves. Yes, there is a Twitter video floating around right now. We don't know. We can't quote where exactly it is because all we see is the ground and a scarf burning, and then some USA socks. And it is a Houston Dynamo, one of the newer Star Wars scarves, and they're burning it.
That's worth money.
It was posted by Beer Guardians, and that's okay for them, And guys, if you haven't got your tickets yet, please get your tickets for the June 23rd game.
I think it might end up being, other than playoff matches,
this is
maybe the biggest
it's
Texas
gonna be,
Derby
we're getting
ever.
A call. We are getting a call.
Hey, welcome to the Peel.
Hey, how y'all doing? This is Alex.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Alex?
Alex, what's going on, man?
Not much.
So
yeah, I'm pretty disappointed too. There's so many different things that it just doesn't make sense. I think it's completely unfair, and it's going to hurt their attendance. They're losing money by this. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But apparently they don't care. They don't care. It's going to hurt their attendance. They're losing. You take away. What was it? So you're losing about 200 seats that you could have filled up. Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to this last game,
And the one thing I don't understand is if we did something that was so wrong to warrant this, why wasn't anything mentioned to us at the game?
Well, exactly. And nothing was brought up. Nobody told. I don't know if they told them to turn the. I was there. I didn't see anybody come and tell them to put out the smoke bomb. It was like happening right in front of me. Yeah. Nobody came over, and nobody made a big issue. Everybody,
and they have security that walks around the lot.
The security was so nice. Everybody at Dallas Stadium was so nice to me. Where is all this coming? It's juvenile. It's sad. What is this? Oh, here we go. We got the It's petty. That's all I have to say about it. It is just so petty. And it frustrates me as a fan. And Sean,
I wonder if they're actually going to give a response to the Texian Army to that letter.
Well, actually,
I'm glad you brought that up because yes, we do.
After we get off this call, I will read this letter in its entirety.
No, go ahead and read it right now. Yeah, go ahead and read it right
well,
now. Yeah, stay on the line with us, Alex.
All right, this is the official statement from Texian Army. It's a little lengthy, so just bear with me. The Texian Army is just as surprised as everyone else about these sanctions by MLS and FC Dallas, hereafter FCD's front office. The only issues that we know of about from inside Toyota Stadium were caused by FCD's own fans. These fans were explicably seated below TA and other Houston Dynamo supporters and fans. Had FCD provided the 350-plus Dynamo fans with their own section, this would not have been a problem. FCD's security removed the troublemakers and even thanked us for not responding to their attempts to antagonize the Texian Army. As the Texian Army and other Houston Dynamo supporters left the stadium, FCD security thanked us for coming. There was no indication of any issue. No communication was made from FCD to our organization until this letter, the letter that FCD had sent out, was sent out, and no exact cause was ever established either. Houston Chronicle story has said that the cause was smoke bombs. No smoke bombs were set off inside the stadium. There were some set off outside the stadium at the designated Houston Dynamo supporters tailgate before and after the match. While Texian Army did not set off any smoke bombs, we will point out that FCD's visiting supporters group plan only outlines prohibited items from inside Toyota Stadium. Smoke bombs are on the same list as coolers, frisbees, and umbrellas. Those items are sure to be found in the parking lots outside of any FCD match. Furthermore, FC Dallas has already stipulated that its own supporters groups can use smoke bombs outside the stadium. They have a link to their post about what their supporters groups can do. As established by FCD's own visiting supporters group plan, Houston Dynamo supporters work within the rules laid out by the document. Texian Army will be posting that document online for all to see. This punishment is beyond the pale. A 4-match suspension of flags, banners, drums, and reduced tickets available for purchase is essentially a 3-year ban on those items. No arrests were made. The rules we received only banned smoke bombs inside the stadium. The Texian Army asked for the following. Number 1, MLS and FC Dallas reconsider the sanctions it made against our organization and other Houston Dynamo supporters groups. The visiting supporters group plan document is updated as needed, so there are no more future misunderstandings. And number 3, a new post-game teleconference not more than 2 business days after each Houston Dynamo game in Frisco is held, so any issues from that game could be openly discussed and hopefully resolved without needing measures like these. Again, that was Texas A&M's response to the letter.
So going back to that whole thing of no smoke bombs, frisbees, or coolers are allowed in the parking lot.
In the stadium.
Oh, in the stadium. In the stadium. But they didn't say anything about it being in the parking lot, correct?
And they had documents that actually showed that. I did look at. That's the documents I was talking about previously.
Yes. So in those documents, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't look at it word for word, but is there any mention or anything distinguishing inside the stadium to outside the stadium, or does it count as just the premise of Toyota Stadium?
I thought it was the latter, from my understanding of reading it.
Because that seems to be kind of the question mark is, okay, it wasn't in the stadium, but do they consider the parking lot part of the stadium? Because if so, that means that then yes, at that point,
of land is
like Corey was stating.
Yeah,
so
it's part of their acres of land. That's their stadium or whatnot. You know, I mean, it's just. I don't know. I'm speechless now. You know? Yeah.
Well, beyond that, is there anything that explicitly states if these infractions are broken, this is going to be, the sanctions that are going to be placed upon?
As for the actual number of sanctions, I don't believe so. I think it just says what you can and can't do. I don't think it actually says, okay, well, if you do this, you get X amount of games. If you do this, you get this amount of games. Like, I don't think there's anything that actually says that. Now, I can ask my girlfriend. She was on the board, but I don't know if there is. So,
and that's what I'm wondering, if this is just subjective as far as what they think versus what is actually some kind of guideline that's in place on paper.
Yeah, we're gonna get some information, because I saw her posted on here earlier that originally in 2011 it was a 2-game ban.
Yes.
Now it's a 4-game ban.
And now I'm confirming with her, and she can't remember of anything that if you do it, or if you do thing A, you get suspension, whatever. Yeah.
I think it's probably subjective, and hopefully they look at this again after, I'm sure they've had an outpour of comments and questions and phone calls and everything. So hopefully they revisit this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that our supporter groups fight this.
Sean Ringro says 4 games is the MLS minimum for sanctions for supporters groups. So.
Well, I look forward to the game versus Dallas and Houston. I think it's going to be quite an interesting match. I think it might be a little heated, but I'm definitely looking forward to being there.
It's gonna definitely be a heated one. It's gonna bring a new definition of rivalry, because I think that this rivalry has over the past few years kind of tanked towards more Dallas, and I think we built more of a Sporting Kansas rivalry. But I think this is kind of taking the cake on the moment here, and kind of developing a little bit more towards the bitter arch rivalry of FC Dallas and Houston. So
it'll be fun. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing you guys.
Absolutely, right. Alex. Hey, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
All right, talk to you later.
Hi, man. Later. Yeah. So, at some point, we're supposed to get Carson on.
we've got it. Yeah, we've got to get Carson on at some point here for Down in the Valley.
At some point.
At some point, yeah. This episode might go a little bit over here, And guys, we'll leave the phone lines open.
Yeah.
We'll get some calls. I know the Toros do play a game tonight.
Yeah,
I think kickoff was actually at 7.
I think he was saying 9.
Is it 9?
I think it's like 9 something, because it's in. It's not here.
No.
It's an away game. Yeah, let's get that pulled up. Guys, yeah, phone lines are open, 281-849-7335. Give us your call on the thoughts on the ban. If you weren't asleep, if you were asleep during Twitter last night and you're just now waking up, there was a lot of stuff going on.
Where can I get that career?
Yeah, right? Yeah. There was a lot going on. Oh, here's the other call.
Hey, welcome to the Peel.
I know who this is.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, actually, it's not who I thought it was. Yes.
Who we got on the phone line?
Hello, hey.
Hey.
This is David.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, David, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Goozy, yeah.
Calling into,
guy. Yeah, it's me.
Guy.
I'm just listening to your podcast here. Just some clarification things you guys were asking about.
We did have a call before we went up there, of course, normal security call.
Yeah.
In that security call, there was no mention of smoke bombs. That was never brought up to our attention. It was just the most basic stuff, buses, where you're parking at, where we'll hold you, all that stuff. Oddly enough, on the call, they seemed to think that putting us in those 3 sections was a good idea. I don't know why, but what have you. It was, I feel like it was pretty poor on their part. I don't really have much to add. You guys already have spoken about already. I was there. I saw Josh over there.
So let me ask you this then, David, because I want to get. I don't care if somebody repeats this 12 times on the podcast. When the smoke bombs were lit, did anybody from lot security or anything like that come and tell you to put it out?
No, they did not. We actually had members of our front office there. They were just there looking at it, just chilling out. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. There was no running around screaming with a fire extinguisher or anything like that. It was all just a fun, good time. Nobody said anything. I didn't personally see them, but people told me that there were other smoke bombs from Dallas people around the parking lot. There was a Dallas supporter meeting from their notes that specifically said that they'll allow smoke bombs outside.
Now,
so
wait.
I know that's the home team and all that, but
okay, for their home team, but not for away.
It doesn't specifically ban away people from it. So that's probably where some of the confusion comes in. There's a link in our letter that we sent out there. It would go to that. As far as the atmosphere in Dallas, as far as like a double standard existing, it's actually not. I really don't see it. They treat their supporter groups terribly over there. I've heard stories from Dallas supporters how badly they're treated. There's a zero tolerance policy regarding F words or something like that. Buto's really cracked down there. That drum line that they used to have there was there specifically to drown them out in case they started bad chants. So, like, the organization seems to do just everything in their power to actually just sanitize the atmosphere that they got there. It's really depressing. I feel sad for them more than anything.
And I want to clarify this, too, because I know at times our front office has been maybe not the best to our supporters groups at times. I'm not saying that it is this year by any stretch. But you definitely don't get that same vibe from our front office to you guys, do you?
No. Particularly this year, the front office has been taking a lot of steps to actually reach out to us, work with us on a bunch of things. They're really good about most things. We have a pretty good working relationship with our ticket guy. We're working into getting people into the section, which has always been a problem for us. So it's they don't crack down. Of course, they don't want Puto chants or fuck you whatever chants. But there's no heavy-handed sanctions where people are getting thrown out or anything like that either.
Yeah.
They've been really willing to work with us.
So also
compared to Dallas, we got good.
How do you think this plays out for the match here? Do you think it's going to be a sellout? Do you think there's probably going to be problems? Either with Dallas fans or whatever.
Problems with Dallas fans? Probably not. It is a Friday game, so I don't think it would be. I don't know how that would factor into it, like a Saturday game or anything like that. I can say that I personally have just been trying to get people to go. My non-soccer friends, I've been talking this game up, trying to get them in. I'm sure a lot of people have. It's definitely one we're looking forward to. Probably going to start coughing around lunchtime and just get down there a little bit early.
There you go.
I think you already have something coming on. 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
You sound like you might have the flu or something.
You do sound like it's something developing there, buddy.
I will say, given our home record and everything like that, I'm really looking forward to it. Nobody really wanted to mention it, but after that game, even after a 0-0 tie, it felt like a win. Everyone there was ecstatic. We were pretty happy.
Was that it felt like more of a win for us and a loss for them.
Absolutely, you know.
Definitely. Yeah.
The only
you can feel it in the stadium.
So I will state this. You know, the only issue that I did see in the stadium from another fan, obviously besides the ejection or whatever. I did see one fan walking up. He was pissed off. He was talking to security guard as we walked up, and he was saying, you know, they should have left before us. And, you know, security guard was like, okay, well, I'll let, you know, my front office know about that and stuff, you know. And that's all we saw. We called him a crybaby for it, you know. We straight up called him out, you know. I mean, you know, come on now.
They're Dallas because they cry.
They're Dallas because they cry, obviously. I mean, look what's happening right now, you know, and crybabies.
No. The plan was always to hold us for at least 15 to 20 minutes. That's just standard away fan procedure. I do remember on the call they specifically said the group we would have a problem with would be Matador probably. They specifically were not going to get near us just to avoid any kind of conflicts like that. They had their own exit strategy or something like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, Beer Guardians we don't haven't really been problems with. But yeah, the standard thing, even if you saw it when Orlando was here and they had brought some fans, they stayed for like 20 minutes. It's just standard stuff. So anyone throwing a crybaby hissy fit at a security guard doesn't know what he's talking about.
Exactly, yeah. You know, and one thing that they do mention is, you know, they're going to limit the fans to 100, limit the tickets to 100 supporter group fans. What's going to stop us? What's going to stop other Dynamo fans from buying tickets scattered around the stadium?
Nothing.
And I think that's wouldn't that cause more of an uproar?
Even if you're spread out in the stadium, it's gonna sound louder than being in one area.
I mean, not necessarily. You know, I think it would cause more of an uproar because
they probably didn't think this one through very hard. But
you know,
100 people is fine. It's a Wednesday game. I can tell you that we're looking at possibly doing another bus like we usually do.
Well, you count two of us.
Hopefully this light the fire under everyone's ass to get everyone up there.
Yeah. Well, don't even worry, man. We will definitely we'll be on that bus with you guys. So.
Oh, I'd love to have you guys. Yeah, appreciate it.
We'll definitely be on there with you guys. So we appreciate it. So.
All right, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, no
problem. Yeah, thank you for calling in.
Will you be there tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night at Lucky's?
Yes, sir.
I plan to be.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I do have other things, but I'm definitely be there Sunday. I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. All right, man.
They're not going to keep me away Sunday. All right.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Well, there we have. We have more responses from a supporter. Hi, dog. My dog wants to get on the podcast. Oh, hi everybody. This is Brutus. He finally wanted to make an appearance on the Peel. I don't know where to go now.
Do we have time for one more call?
We have
one more call
time for one more call. If you want to get Carson on. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get one more call in, and then we'll get Carson on. So, guys, go ahead and call in. We got time for one more call. 281-849-7335. Give us your thoughts on the band. We want to hear from you guys, anybody, about the band. Eddie, if you're watching, call in.
Yes.
Right